name's Adam DeFazio. I'm a cosmetic urologist at Miami Men's, and today I just wanted to walk guys through the Himplant consultation, just to give them a sense of how I introduce guys to this procedure who are interested in penile enhancement, and how I address their concerns and really get all of my information out to the patients to let them make a best decision for themselves. So during my initial consultations with a guy I'm meeting for the first time who's interested in penile enhancement with a Himplant, my first, I usually give guys an overview. Introduce myself, try to get a sense of who the guy is, where he's coming from. We have guys coming from all over the world to see us, so it's always important to understand some of the logistical barriers we have to treatment. And then I dive right into the consult. And my goal is to get all the information about this procedure to my patients. There are really only about 3 guys in the world who do a significant number of these procedures. And there's not much information out there. So when guys are looking on Reddit, when they're looking to ChatGPT for information, it's not really good information. It's not information that's going to help them make an informed decision. So my primary goal is to get my expertise, my knowledge out to my patients and let them make a decision for themselves when considering the procedure. Aside from that, obviously, I let guys ask whatever questions they're coming to me with. Usually I exhaust all those questions to begin with, but sometimes guys have new questions, innovative things I've never thought about before. So it's always a welcome experience for me to see what guys are thinking about when they come to the procedure. And the last point, I have to decide if my patients are good prospective patients. Do they have any medical issues that may prevent them from undergoing the procedure? Do they have any anatomic issues that may not give them the best outcome? And then finally, I need to figure out, is their motivation or is their goal something I actually can achieve? With any elective procedure, there's no medical benefit. The benefit's purely internal, is purely how it makes you feel, and there are real risks. So if a guy has a goal that I can't achieve, there's no sense in actually doing this procedure. So at the outset, I always ask guys, why do you want to do this? So when I ask a guy why he wants to do the procedure, what his goals are, I'm looking for more than a guy saying, I just want it bigger. There are only a handful of guys out there who don't actually want it bigger. I tell my patients, like, if I had a magic wand and I sat in a street corner in Brickell with a sign that said bigger penises, I would have a lineup that went up to New York. That's not really the question we're going after. When a guy is undergoing surgery and paying money and putting his trust and faith in me, they usually have a deeper motivation, goal, reasoning for doing this, and that's what I want to hear. And it typically comes down to confidence. For most guys, this is more of a confidence surgery than a penis surgery. Right? We sort of achieve that confidence by sort of addressing some of the concerns about their penis, but ultimately this is about gaining confidence that lets guys, really enjoy their lives, to feel comfortable in their skin, to be able to be at ease, whether it's in a locker room or in a bathing suit, or whether it's in a boardroom. So once I've decided that a guy has a good motivation, a goal that I actually can achieve, the next step is talking about what can the implant do and what can it not do. So what are some of the limitations of this implant? I want guys to know what they're getting themselves into. This is the implant right here. It's a silicone sheath. It sits on the top side of the penis, kind of like a saddle, right? It goes around about 260, 270 degrees of the penis. This is inserted through a small incision, about this big, on the left side of a guy's scrotum. I'm right-handed, so I go through the left side of the scrotum. That lets me tunnel down to the base of the penis. I create a space between the skin and the underlying penile tissues that then lets me just slide this in place. Front side, which is very thin, is sewn into the penile tissues. Back side, which is thick, gets trimmed for each guy's length. So when a guy is soft, when a guy is flaccid, this is going to pull him out close to his erect length. So if a guy says, I'm 6 inches when I'm hard, but I'm 2 inches when I'm soft, he's going to live at about 5.5 inches afterwards. So those guys who say I'm a grower are really happy with the ultimate outcomes. In terms of circumference, my average patient, I'd say, is between 3.5 and 4 inches of flaccid circumference. This will, on average, add around 1.5 inches to that, depending on which implant size and how the body reacts to it. So there's some variability there, but the real point is that it's a huge relative change. So if a guy's 3.5 inches to begin with, he could reasonably expect to hit 5 inches afterwards. So when he's soft, he's thicker, he's longer, he's overall bigger. That addresses the concerns of a lot of my guys who don't want to go. They don't like taking a shower in front of a partner. They don't like the way they look in sweatpants. They don't like the way they look in a wet bathing suit. They're really happy with that aspect of it.